Malaysia's Food Self-Sufficiency, an Urgent Call to Strengthen Domestic Resilience. By Azlan Adnan, M.A. In an era of intensifying climate shocks, geopolitical instability, and volatile global supply chains, Malaysia's food self-sufficiency is no longer just a policy goal. It is a matter of national security. The self-sufficiency ratio, SSR, a crucial metric used by policymakers, measures how much of a country's food consumption is met through domestic production. It is calculated by dividing local production by total domestic consumption, production plus imports/exports, and multiplying by 100. An SSR of 100% indicates complete self-sufficiency, while any figure below this exposes the nation to the vulnerabilities of import reliance. Malaysia's SSR profile is mixed, impressive in some sectors, critically low in others. The data below reflects the state of food self-sufficiency in Malaysia as of 2022, unless otherwise noted. Strong performers: eggs, poultry, fish, and tropical produce. Malaysia is entirely self-sufficient in chicken and duck eggs, SSR 108.9%, with production exceeding national consumption. Poultry meat, 94.4%, also nears full sufficiency. The fisheries sector is robust. Edible fish reached 90.2%, while specific species such as sea bass, 118.3%, tuna, 108.4%, crab, 107.9%, and catfish, both freshwater and riverine, all exceeded the 100% mark. In horticulture, the country excels in tropical fruits. 8 fruit varieties, including papaya, 142.3%, watermelon, 131.9%, and starfruit, 120.2%, surpassed full self-sufficiency. The overall fruit SSR stands at 78.1%. Similarly, several vegetables such as tomato, 118%, cucumber, spinach, lettuce, brinjal, long bean, and lady's finger exceeded national demand. The aggregated vegetable SSR, however, remains at a modest 44.7%, suggesting uneven performance across the category. Chili, a dietary staple, shows a respectable SSR of around 72%, though efforts are ongoing to further reduce import reliance through improved fertilization and support for young farmers. Staple struggles: rice, dairy, and ruminant meat. Malaysia's rice self-sufficiency ratio stands at 62.6%, significantly short of national consumption needs. Policymakers have set ambitious targets: 75% by 2025 and 80% by 2030 under the National Agri-Food Policy 2.0. Fresh milk at 57.3% remains a critical import-dependent sector, though the government aims to achieve full self-sufficiency by 2025. Ruminant meat continues to lag dangerously behind. Beef SSR is just 14.7%, while mutton and goat meat hover around 10 to 11%. Malaysia's reliance on imports for these commodities makes it vulnerable to global price shocks and supply disruptions. Critical dependencies: onions, garlic, pulses, wheat, and temperate crops. Malaysia is alarmingly dependent on foreign imports for several essential foods. Garlic, for instance, is almost entirely imported. In 2022, Malaysia imported 162,681 tons, costing approximately $146 million, 97% of which came from China. Onion production remains limited, though domestic R&D has begun to bear fruit with the introduction of the Mardi Babu variety in pilot projects. Tomatoes, despite an SSR of 118%, continue to be imported in fresh form, with 6,898 tons brought in during 2023. Likewise, temperate climate crops such as potatoes, carrots, and leafy greens are heavily import-reliant due to unsuitable local climate conditions and a lack of infrastructure to support highland farming at scale. Malaysia also imports the entirety of its wheat supply, used for bread, noodles, and roti staples in many households. Chickpeas and lentils, integral to Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines popular across the country, are likewise sourced entirely from abroad, with no notable domestic cultivation. The same holds true for coffee, tea, and processed dairy products. ATRA summary: ranking of self-sufficiency, descending order. 1. Chicken and duck eggs, 108.9%. 2. Selected vegetables, tomato, spinach, cucumber, 100%. Specific fruits, papaya, watermelon, starfruit, 100%. 4. Poultry meat, 94.4%. 5. Edible fish and select fish species, 90 to 118%. 6. Fruits, aggregate, 78.1%. 7. Chili, 2%. 8. Rice, 62.6%. 9. Fresh milk, 57.3%. 10. Vegetables, aggregate, 40.7%. Beef, 14.7%. 12. Mutton, goat, lamb, 10%. 13. Corn, 2 to 3%. 14. Onions, garlic, chickpeas, lentils, wheat, SSR well below 10%. Largely imported. Strategic outlook. Urgency meets opportunity. Malaysia's food security strategy must shift from ad hoc responses to structural reform. Boosting local production, improving agrotechnology, investing in climate-smart farming, and empowering smallholders, particularly youth and women, are not merely policy options, but existential imperatives. As the population grows and arable land diminishes under urban and industrial pressure, Malaysia must prioritize high-value, short-cycle crops, support vertical and hydroponic farming, and develop integrated livestock aquaculture systems. Moreover, trade diversification and better import monitoring are essential to buffer future shocks. Food sovereignty begins in the field and ends on the plate. A heartfelt light. To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope, so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed now seek the skies, and slowly, clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again. Its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
subscribe button to show your support.